Did you know that your brain might be trapping you in a fake serotonin loop? That's right, when you don't convert your regrets into lessons, you can end up in a cycle that leaves you stuck, emotionally and mentally. But here's the kicker, it's completely human to do this. Chasing after that ex, trying to hold on to friendships that no longer serve you. Your brain's wired for this. It takes the easy way out, trying to conserve energy instead of confronting the tough lessons life throws at us. But what if we could change that? Here's something fascinating. The average human brain has around 86 billion neurons, and each one of these tiny cells is working non-stop to process everything we see, feel, and experience. That means every decision, every emotional reaction, even every regret, is shaping you in ways you might not even realize. When you're born, your brain is a blank slate, soaking up everything around you. Fast forward a few years, and you become a curious 3-year-old, bumping into things and getting hurt, learning through experience and trial and error. By age 8, you start asking questions. Your brain begins to understand that not every bump on the head is an accident. Then comes 14. You think you know everything. You're sharp. Your brain has learned so much, but that's when the real growth begins. Because when you hit adulthood, you realize you don't know nearly as much as you thought. You're in a constant state of learning and improvement. And that, my friends, is where the journey never ends. But here's the thing about your brain. It's infinite. It's always changing, always adapting, and the more you understand how it works, the more control you gain. You have the ability to take the wheel, even in the most difficult times. Let's dive into the science for a moment. When we experience regret, our brains release cortisol, the stress hormone, while the emotional centers light up. But the brain isn't designed just to suffer. It's designed to learn from those moments. Regret can be an incredibly powerful teacher if you let it. In fact, research shows that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, means you can rewire your mind. By changing the way you respond to difficult situations, you're actually changing your brain. Studies have shown that regular reflection and learning from your mistakes can enhance cognitive flexibility and emotional resilience, two key factors in happiness and success. So, why do we keep making the same mistakes? The brain naturally prefers the familiar, even if it's unhealthy. This is known as the status quo bias. We stick with what we know, even if it's not helping us move forward. This explains why, even after we know someone is bad for us, we try to keep going back to them. Why we stay in situations that don't serve us, because the brain's default is to avoid change. Change takes energy, and the brain likes to conserve that energy. But this is where the power of converting regret into lessons comes in. So, what can we do? Here's the good news. You can train your brain to turn regret into wisdom. You can make those painful moments work for you. Let's start with tip number 1, cognitive reframing. This is when you actively change the way you view a situation. Instead of thinking, I regret this mistake, try thinking, what did I learn from this? How has this made me stronger? This simple shift in perspective can reduce negative emotions like guilt or sadness and turn them into productive thoughts. Research from the University of California shows that reframing helps reduce stress and promotes emotional well-being. Next, tip number 2, practice mindfulness and self-compassion. Neuroscientific studies have shown that mindfulness, being aware of your thoughts without judgment, helps lower cortisol levels and enhances your brain's ability to process emotions. By accepting your mistakes without harsh self-criticism, you allow your brain to adapt more quickly and effectively. A study published in the journal Psychological Science found that people who practice mindfulness are better at recovering from emotional setbacks, making them more resilient in the face of adversity. Now, let's talk about tip number 3, the power of gratitude. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude have stronger connections in the brain's prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. When you can look back on your past, no matter how painful, and be grateful for the lessons it taught you, you are not only improving your mental health, but also rewiring your brain for future success. Research from the University of Miami found that participants who kept a gratitude journal had higher levels of happiness and a stronger sense of well-being. So, there you have it. 3 powerful strategies to help you convert regret into lessons and turn sadness into happiness. Remember, the more you understand how your brain works, the more you can take control of your emotional journey. You don't have to stay stuck in the past. By embracing these techniques, you can unlock your brain's full potential and transform your life. Now, before we wrap up, I want to ask you something. What regrets have you learned from, and how have those lessons helped you grow? Let me know in the comments below, and let's start a conversation. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Beyond the Basics for more insightful content that can help you unlock the power of your mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.